Hey everybody, welcome to the DW Plays video. This time I'm taking a look at, as you can see here, Super Probotector Alien Rebels. This is the PAL version, the European version, of Contra III The Alien Wars. That has been censored for the European audience because they thought that the European audience couldn't handle the violence, although it was mostly a Germany thing at that time. Their censorship laws have always been stupid. But, back in the 90s, they were especially egregious with the way they applied them to video games. And so you would end up with versions like this that ended up going across the entire PAL region because they just didn't want to run afoul of any censorship laws, and what they would do is they would do things like replace the humanoid enemies and such with robots, which is what you end up with the Probotector series. They replace all of the humanoid characters with robots. And it's the same exact game otherwise, so there's just not a whole lot to talk about here, but it is kind of neat to show off just a slightly different version of the main game there. I'll cover, of course, Contra 3 in an MTO or a review, because the main version is what most people are going to be familiar with, and it's certainly not going to be this weird European spin-off that's, again, the same game just with different graphics. But it is neat to cover it as part of the DW Plays series, just to show off something that's a bit different, and doesn't really deserve a full MTO or review of on its own. So let's just go ahead and get started here. This is in keeping with the other Probotector games that I've covered. Same kind of thing, don't expect too much out of the gameplay. I am really bad at the Contra games. Did not play them back in the day, didn't have access to any of them back in the day, whether it be the most likely one that I would have had access to is Contra Hardcore on the Genesis, or Probotector on the Mega Drive, for those of you in that region. But I didn't have access to that back in the day either. And I didn't have an NES or an SNES back in the day, so any kind of muscle memory or knowledge of where the enemies are going to pop out or anything like that, I don't have it for this game, so don't expect much. I am really bad at it. And that will undoubtedly come through here. So, at the very least, you'll get some schadenfreude, potentially, at me being terrible at this game. Now, on the positive side, I can just hold down the shoot button, as opposed to having to constantly hammer it, like you do on the NES version of Contra. But it's pretty straightforward stuff. You run and gun. And you just try to avoid getting hit as much as you possibly can, because crap. And I've lost a spread shot. But it's not easy, let's put it that way. And you die in one hit because arcade game logic. Yeah, they had to make games artificially difficult back then to maximize playtime, and it was... And you get vehicles, which is cool. However, the cannon knocking you back is a bit annoying. But hey, at least you can run over enemies now. And the shots don't affect you anymore unless they hit you from above, which is kind of fun. Crap. Yeah, this is not a weapon I particularly like here. And we get a barrier, which is nice. And lasers are a bit more manageable, at least. That said, I'm really bad at this game, and thus but yeah. We're gonna see how, we're gonna do one continue, and that's it. But we start the entire level over, which is, arcade game logic back in the day. Let's see how long I can keep the spread shot this time. That's how long. Okay, cool. Apparently, I'm going to be just absolutely terrible at this game no matter what I do, so. Awesome. That said, the Seeker weapon is quite nice. Because it seeks out enemies and hits them, regardless of whether you're in the same plane as them or not. Regardless of whether you're aiming at them or not, so. Definitely like that. Just gonna run right over them, because why not? Ha 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 ha. Narrowly avoided getting the crappy weapon. So that's always fun. I will definitely take that. Getting a shield is quite nice. Oh, come on, game. That's just mean. That's just mean. Alright. So we're gonna make it a bit further, it seems. So there's that. We're back to the good weapon here. Ah, crap. I didn't want to get that. And now the floor is lava. By the way, you can climb on things. That's kind of neat. And then you can fail miserably at climbing on things like that. That's a thing too. Ah, crap. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not good at Contra. I've never really cared much for the series. It's not really my kind of thing. But if it's your kind of thing, then check out the Contra Anniversary Collection. It's a lot of Contra games in one package, and it includes alternate versions like this. So if you're interested, feel free to check that out. I'll throw a link in the video description box where you can grab that on Steam. But anyway, that was Super Probotector Alien Rebels. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon. If you can't afford to or don't want to, that's perfectly fine. I understand. But the options are if you're interested, and every bit does help. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you all in later videos.